guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Chloe and today I wanted to do a video on how I did stock photos for my lash line, but this is just good for any product photography that you might be doing, whether it's Amazon or eBay or even like Poshmark or Mercari. Anything you're selling a product on, you can do the photography at home. So I'm going to show you the camera I use, how I edit the photos to make them look like stock photos after I take them, and then also a couple of tricks I've learned. So I do want to preface this with that I'm not a photographer. I've never taken like any courses on photography. Everything I've learned is from educating myself through the internet. So I really don't know like too much. I'm not a professional, but I have friends who have done photography. I have family who has done photography. So I have picked up a lot of good tricks and tips that have really helped me. So I just want to pass that along to anybody who might use it. And the internet is lacking with product photography for lashes, particularly like videos or how-to kind of things, which really shocked me because lash lines are a dime a dozen. And if you guys saw my video like a couple weeks ago, I was kind of like just like showing my vendor for my lash line that I just launched on my Shopify. And I needed stock photos. So I went down this rabbit hole in the internet of how much it costs to hire a professional to do product photography. And when I went down this rabbit hole, I found out that basically it is like ridiculously expensive because, it's a lot of work. You have to take the photos, you need a nice professional camera. So you're paying for their camera, their photography skills, and editing. So after finding out that it's $60 at least, that's at the least, that's on the low end of photography. And like, honestly, I don't really know what you would get in the mail or through your email. Like, I don't know what kind of photo they would send you for $60, which is already so overpriced in my opinion, but whatever, that's what I'm going to show you guys. But basically the price range, if you haven't seen yet, for product photography for Amazon or eBay mostly is what is advertised is about $60 to $150 a product. So let's say that you are selling, you're launching your eyelash line and you're launching 100 pairs and 5 styles. You're gonna spend about $700 on product photography photos for your website when that's probably triple the price of the product itself. So you're gonna have to upcharge, probably not end up selling the items because you have to charge so much to make your money back. So to me, it didn't make sense to spend that much money. And these tips and tricks and what I use to take the photos will work for any product that's like fairly small. And by fairly small, I mean like 6 by 6 inches at the biggest. It wouldn't work for like shirts or probably wouldn't work for shoes. So this will work for anything small, cups, bowls, candles, whatever, stationery, stuff like that. If you're selling stickers, a lot of people have sticker businesses. So you can really save hundreds of dollars from doing your photography at home. But I did buy a nice camera to do this. I did it on a payment plan, so I didn't spend hundreds of dollars all at once because I definitely don't have money for stuff like that, and I know a lot of people don't. So this is attainable for the everyday person. It's just not attainable like all at once for the everyday person. If you did a payment plan like me and then bought the supplies that I bought, it would be doable. But if you go with like $200 light box on eBay, then that's a lot less doable. And you might as well just send it off to somebody at that point. So now that I've gone over the price points and kind of my background with photography or lack thereof, I guess, I really have learned a lot of valuable tips and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and go right into showing you guys what camera I got and what I've learned about this camera. And there's a lot like this camera. So basically this is the Sony A5100, I believe. And I got this camera because I did a lot of research on the best starter camera, like the best professional starter camera. And when I was looking online, like a lot of people were like, oh, this camera is great. And it was like $1,500. And I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. So this one at full price, brand new, is about $480. So that's a really, in my opinion, that's a really good price for a professional camera. I bought this camera for my boutique online. So I run a boutique online. Your business or what you're taking photos for, it could even just be for your own personal like photography. This is a really good starter camera. So I bought this because I sell clothing occasionally. Like I have a variation of things that I sell. And I needed to model my own clothing, as a lot of new brands do. And I was really struggling getting good photos without being able to see how I was posing. So a really sick feature on this camera is that it has this, which folds up. So basically, whenever I'm doing photography of products that I'm selling, I can see everything I'm doing. And it connects to Bluetooth. So I connect this to my phone, set a timer, and then can from my phone click the timer, and I can take photos like from a distance from the camera. So that's a really cool feature, and that was a big selling point for me because it was probably the most affordable flip camera I was able to find online. And then there was also this, which is the pop-up flash. And like I said, like I'm not a photographer, I really don't know the benefits of this, but I did read many times online that there are benefits to having control over the pop-up flash. So it's very simple to use this camera as well. And especially coming from somebody like growing up, I did not use computers a lot. I actually went out and played outside. I know a lot of people don't do that now, like kids are on their own iPads and stuff, but like I'm pretty sure I'm part of Gen Z. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, I mean, I grew up in all of the technology, you know, advancing and all of the iPhones and all that like coming out. And even with that, I still was not really on phones or iPads or computers a whole lot. So I'm actually very stupid when it comes to technology. So this camera was great for me because I'm not good with technology. It's very straightforward, very to the point, and it was very easy to pick up on how to use it. My only complaint about this camera, and I saw this everywhere, but it was after I bought it, my only complaint about this camera is that it's supposed to be Bluetooth where you can airdrop the photos to your phone, whether you have an Android or an iPhone, and it does not work. Like everybody online's like, try this, try that, but then all the other comments are like, we tried, it's not working, and I tried everything, it didn't work for me. So that's the only thing. I ended up going to Best Buy and getting a USB plug-in for my computer so I can take the SD card out and plug it into the USB and then put the photos into my computer and then airdrop them from there onto my phone. So it was actually a lot easier that way. And in fact, even if you could airdrop them from the camera to your phone, you have to select each photo, whereas you can click and select all the photos once it's on your computer. So I really do recommend that much more than I would recommend airdropping the photos if you can figure it out. So now I'm gonna go into a tutorial of using a light box, how I used it, and the different sized items that can fit in it. So I used a $10 light box from eBay for all of my photos with my lashes, and I think they came out really good. They're not, you know, $150. I sent them out to a company and purchased, you know, stock photos. They're not that great, but they're really good for doing them at home, and they're on my website. Like, honestly, I was shocked that I was able to do this, so like you guys totally could too. So I'm gonna go into the video. I'm just gonna show you guys, and I'll do a little voiceover so you can hear exactly what I'm doing and see the variation of sizes. But before I do that, I'm gonna show you the light box itself and also show you kind of how it works and how to use it, so you can easily just set it up when you get one and then go into using it. Okay, so this right here is a light box, and this is on the lower end. Like I said, like, they're not usually all flimsy if you buy them, you know, for hundreds of dollars, but I mean, trust me when I say, like, you don't need to. After my experience using this, I was surprised, and I was almost aggravated that I almost spent $50 to $60 on a nicer light box when this one works so well. So basically, they come with different colored slips, and they feel like they're very cheap feeling, but you don't need them to be beautiful, high quality, unless you do, but I don't see why personally, because this worked just as well as, like, if this had been a sheet of paper, it would have worked. You just need a white background if you're doing white stock photos. So you take your box and you set up whatever color you want to put in here. It comes with like 6 colors, this particular light box set, and I use white. And I'm gonna grab a pack of lashes to show you guys kind of how this works and how you would take the photo. So let's say that I was getting ready to take a photo of this pack of lashes. What I would do is I would set it in here, just like that. I would make sure that there's no outside shadows or lights coming in. As you can see, the open window that I have that I'm filming in front of is causing weird lights and shadows on this pack. So you would make sure that you're in an area with like controlled lighting. And then after you would do that, basically there would be none of the reflectiveness that you're seeing right now. You would plug this in right here. So this cord, it's just like a regular USB. You can plug it into a computer. You can plug it into your regular charging, I don't know what they call those, adapters. And you can just plug it right in, and it makes this really bright strip. You know what? I'll show you guys so you could see. Okay, so as you can see, it's really bright. Like, I was surprised when I saw their photo online. I was like, yeah, okay, like, okay, it's gonna come like that. I just did not think it would, honestly. But when it came in the mail and I plugged it in, I was like, wow, that's actually really bright. So what I did was I put this on in a dark room. And then once I put it on in a dark room, I put my camera that I just showed you about 10 feet away or so, and I zoom, sorry, it got cut off. I zoom in until all you can see is this box, like the whiteness of the box in the frame. So you can see all of the light, pretty much all the light in the product is all you should be able to see. I'm gonna show you guys a demo in a second though, so you can see what I'm talking about. But I also used flash, but I did it from a sideways angle, because if you put it directly head on to the product when there's a clear top, like my box has a clear top, so it's going to be reflective. It's also holographic, so it's going to be really reflective. So I did it from an angle, so it's not directly putting light onto the product. So if you do it from a tiny bit of a sideways angle, then like rather than this, like the camera like that, it will really help your product photos come out a lot better. So really good photography, doesn't have any shadows, it doesn't have any like reflections on the product itself. So that's why you want to do that. And also the 10 feet away trick with photography has honestly upped my game so much, because I never knew. Basically what I was doing was one day I was taking photos of necklaces that I was selling, and my boyfriend was like, Chloe, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing it so close? That's why it keeps flashing back at you like that. And I said, do you know how to do this? And he goes, yeah, I took a photography class. So he showed me this trick of the further you are away, when you zoom in your professional camera with flash on, the better a photo comes out. So I will show you guys again a couple of examples of how I did this and how it came out. So I'm going to go into demos really quick so I can get into showing you editing because I know I talk a whole lot. So yeah, I'm just going to get into the demo so you guys can see what I did. And then if you have any additional questions about this portion of the video, just leave them down below and I'm happy to help and answer. So just for the sake of showing you guys what's going on, I set up the light box on a plastic bin and put some of my lashes that I'm selling inside. So I'm showing you the 10 feet away trick that I was just talking about. And I am about to zoom in right now so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm doing it from that sideways angle I was telling you about, because if you do it from the sideways angle, it won't get any really harsh lights or reflections. So as you can see, that already looks really good, and there wasn't any crazy reflections going on there. So again, I'm just zooming in and doing it over one more time, and that is how that comes out. They look really good though, and all of the little lines in the background you can always Photoshop out and just create white lines, which I will show you later in the video. So now I'm just demonstrating different sized products that you can fit in there. I put the camera in the wrong area. Okay, so it works with anything. Like that one looks even better than the lashes because there's no complicated shape to that, whereas the lash box is a little bit more complicated. A water bottle also fits in there. So anything within a water bottle size you can fit into the light box that I'm going to be linking down below. And hopefully your product will fit in there because this box worked so well for me and I was really impressed with it. So for this last part, I'm staying on this side of the screen because I'm going to bring up a little video right here for you guys in a second. So I'm going to watch it on my phone, and while I'm watching, I'm going to explain what's going on so that you guys can kind of get an idea of how I edited this video, or not this video, this product. It's very important to edit photos even after you get a really good photo, whether it's clothing, lashes, whatever else you sell, hats, shoes. You just want to make sure everything's clean. So even though with the light box I just showed you, it has a kind of rounded background, so you don't need to really smooth that part out. It should look pretty good. You still want to brighten the photo and make it like bright white, like as if it's a real stock photo. I mean, you want a real stock photo. So I'm going to go into the tutorial right now and tell you guys exactly what I'm doing. So I'm actually unable to find the photo or the video I'm looking for. So I'm just going to do it on my phone right now and tell you guys exactly what I'm doing while I'm showing it on the screen. So first I'm going to start by selecting the photo that I took with my camera that I've now downloaded onto my computer and sent to my phone. And I'm going to be editing this in Facetune. Facetune is $3.99 forever. Like I said, I'm not good with technology, and Facetune's very straightforward. So I wouldn't be good with like Photoshop. I know I wouldn't. So that's why I went with Facetune for this. So you do need to purchase it, but it's a very low cost for what you're getting and for what you can do with it. Okay, so right now I'm going in and I am picking a photo, whichever one I want to edit. And it's telling me that the photo's too large, which I already anticipated because usually photos from the camera don't go onto your cell phone the exact same like at the exact same size, so you always have to adjust the sizing. So I'm going to start with making the background white. As you can see, it's like a bluish color, and that tends to happen whenever you're doing your photography on a white background and you use flash. It's really hard to get like a white background. You usually have to edit it whiter. So it actually is white, it just appears like bluish to the eye. So I'm going into the tone tool and I'm actually manually selecting a color. I'm not choosing a color from the palette I already have. So I chose white, and so now that I use the picker tool, I'm using the tones tool, and I'm just going to start making it whiter around the edges. And I'm doing this to brighten the white. It already is white, but like I said, it's appearing blue, which is normal. Like, your photography isn't bad if it looks blue. It just happens. And also, if you send your, I'm just cleaning up the edges really quick. As you can see, I'm making sure that it's white all around this. So it's really fast, really simple. If you mess up, you can use the eraser tool on specific areas. So I'm just cleaning it up. So as you can see, it looks like completely white now, which is what you want. And then if you want to go in, you can go in and use the smooth tool and make sure it's all blended out, but it should look fine. I mean, you don't really need to. So the next thing I'm going to do is go into the details tool, and I'm going to go on the satin piece that pulls out the actual lashes, and I'm going to highlight it and make it look really pretty and shiny. And then after I do that, well, as you can see, the before and after, it looks a lot nicer. So now I'm going to go in and go around the holographic edges and make them almost more holographic. It's hard to fully get colors in photos, so that's why people who even just take photos of themselves, they tend to edit them to bring out colors in their shirts, in their makeup, different things like that. I'm also highlighting the lashes to make sure that they look bright, and as you can see, the before and after, it really kind of brings them out. So I'm just going in and highlighting any areas that I want darker or more pronounced. So now I'm going to go in with the smooth tool, and I'm going to smooth out any areas that might not be the same color. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So if you're not totally following, it's fine. You'll get the general idea of it once I show you the before and after of what I just did with the smooth tool. So I'm smoothing it out little by little, and it's looking really good. You don't want any like extremely shiny areas. You just want everything to look very consistent. And it's really hard, especially whenever you're photographing clear reflective surfaces, to make sure that your photos come out uniform, because everything's gonna reflect differently. So this, I am giving examples for lashes, but this really goes for any product. So if you can see the difference before smoothing, this is before, after, before, after. And if you want to, you could go in and make the lashes a little bit blacker so that they can reflect the true color, because there is a clear case over the top of them right now, so it's not totally how it looks. Nothing really is in photography all the time. it's hard to get the true colors and backgrounds of items, especially whenever there's a lot of different colors and textures. Alright, so that is my quickest way of showing you guys how I do stock photos. You can do it, and I spent about 20 minutes per photo. I think I spent about 4 or 5 minutes showing you guys, but the before and after is pretty significant. So I hope this was helpful in showing you how I edit and make stock photos look more like stock photos. So like I said, nothing will ever be perfect when you're not sending it to people who go to school for doing what you're doing. Like, even if you're just learning marketing or learning web design, like, it's not going to be as good as a professional right away, but you can always learn new skills. And I firmly believe in doing that when you're starting a business, because you're broke, you're like, you don't have the money, you know, like, even if you do, you can put it to so many better places if you can do something yourself. So that's my 2 cents on photography for people who are starting out trying to do product photography. And if you're looking for how to photograph for your lash line especially, I really hope this was helpful, because the internet is actually lacking so much information on photography for lash lines. I found one video on YouTube before I learned all this and did all this, and the girl was like, the title was like, doing photography for my lash line, and she was talking in her car the whole time. And I was like, thanks. Like, typical clickbait video, not helpful. So yeah, I think this was a lot of stuff that helped me, and not everything that I do is going to work for everybody, and I know that. So I understand if like photographers out there watching are like, that is all wrong, but for me it worked, and for somebody who has not taken courses or gone to school for this, I think it looks pretty damn good. So here are some final photos that you can see, and you know, if you like what you're seeing, then that's something that you can consider trying for your own business. There's also a lot of different photography, I would say, like tricks that I have for flat lays, and I'm gonna quickly go over a couple of them. So in the video that I'm showing you now, I have a white piece of cardboard, and I literally taped all the lashes to it, and I did photography for it at sunrise. So I took videos, like promo videos, I took photographs, and then this was the end result on a white $1 board of a promo photo. And I used this on my website. I'm going to use this on my Instagram for business, so you guys can kind of see what that board did for me. It was $1, and the natural lighting that you can get in your house is free. And I can promise you, from all the photos I've ever done of anything, that natural lighting is the best lighting for me. Everybody's different again. I mean, what works for me might not work for you, and that's totally fine. But yeah, this is what I've been doing, and I'm probably gonna do the same thing in the future. I think I probably saved so many hundreds of dollars. Like, it is so expensive to send your product out to somebody to get photographed. So yeah, again, if you guys have any questions, just leave them down below, and I am happy to help. Bye guys.